for July 9th, 2020. In accordance with the governor's executive order relating to COVID-19, in-person attendance of tonight's BZA meeting will be limited. We've arranged a live stream. We've arranged a live stream of meetings so those interested can view from home. This meeting is slated to start at 7. You can view the meeting on our website and click View Broadcast under Live Broadcast. You must join the meeting through the link to participate during the public comment. Due to the unique nature of this meeting, the town of Cedar Lake will accept public comment electronically. If you have a question or comment about an item on the agenda, please email that question or comment to michelle.baker@cedarlakein.org. Ms. Baker will ensure that all submissions are shared with the affected officials of the town, and that submission will also be entered into the minutes of the meeting. Please keep your comments civil and construction to the policy issue on the agenda. Would you all please rise for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
under God, indivisible, with
liberty, justice for all.
Roll call.
Nick Recupero.
Here.
Jerry Wilkie.
Here.
John Kapoor.
Here.
Jeremy Kuiper.
Present.
Jeff Bungie.
Here.
David Ostrich. Tim Kubiak. Michelle Baker. Here. And Tammy Bilger here.
Thank you. Reading the minutes from June 11, 2020 public meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
No, sir.
Seeing now, need a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
In a second.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Capira, a second by Mr. Recupero. Roll call.
Nick Recupero.
Yes.
Jerry Wilkie.
Yes.
John Kapoor.
Yes.
Jeff Bungie.
Yes.
Jeremy Kuiper.
Yes, minutes approved, carried 5-0.
Very good.
Old business, item number 1, Prince Point Builders Developmental Variance. Owner Ruben Farfan, 8918 West 103rd Street in St. John. The vicinity of 12727 Wrightwood Avenue in Cedar Lake. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a new home with a front yard setback of 20 feet and a rear yard setback of 9 foot 67 inches.
0.67 inches.
And this was deferred from the June 11, 2020 public meeting. Counselor. Thank you. Do we have a petitioner for this item? Name and address, please.
Ruben Farfan, 8918 West 103rd Street, St. John, Indiana.
Go ahead with your request.
You know what? The builder's not here. Can we skip to the end? He has the prints and all, because we had to redo the prints.
Okay.
He has all the paperwork, but he's not here.
Okay.
Can we skip to the end?
Do we have to take a vote on that, or?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's called you and the chair.
Is everybody on the board okay with moving this towards the end?
Yeah, as long as we get copies of the prints.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
you. New business, item number 1, Yonk Developmental Variance. Owner and petitioner Michael J. Yonk, 13024 Dodge Street in Cedar Lake, in the vicinity of 13310 West 133rd Drive in Cedar Lake. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a new home with a rear yard setback of 20 foot with a detached garage in the front yard of a corner lot. Councilor Austin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
seen an exhibit like this for a while.
This is nice.
Apologize for the delay. I wasn't expecting to go so soon. Good evening. My name is Glenn Bourne. I'm a land surveyor and principal at DBG Team Inc. in Crown Point. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Yankee, seeking 2 developmental variance exhibits on his property. Property generally is located on the northwest side of the lake in a nice little weird nook that where 133rd used to go through, where it now veers off into Lakeshore Drive. So you kind of have the entrance that comes off Lakeshore Drive, comes down south, winds around, and then you're left with basically what's 133rd Drive on the GIS, according to GIS, and 133rd Avenue. Even though 133rd Avenue generally runs east-west, it's running north-south in this situation. The parcel is about a half acre or so. There used to be an existing house located on the property, and it butts up on the west is the Amtrak tracks that are there currently. Page 2 of the exhibit shows the color back in 2005 where the house used to exist, which you can see it's kind of snugged up on that west line next to the railroad track. The reason for that, and the reason why I'm here tonight on behalf of Mr. Yankee seeking the variance, is that on the first sheet you can kind of see the contours, and that there's over 16 feet of relief, grade change from the street up to the top of the hill. We are currently going through the 1-lot subdivision process with the Plan Commission, and we're seeking the development variance. The 2 tonight. One is that we'd like to basically reduce the rear yard of your current ordinance has it as 25%. From initial conversations, because it double fronts, it's on 2 different streets. There's actually 2 rear yards, so we're dealing with 2 25% reductions instead of a side yard. And that's the reason for the variance tonight. The second thing is that Mr. Yankee's proposed house that he wishes to build is on basically page 3. There's some elevations. It's a log cabin home. Nice, huge porch, room to look out. And so the reason for again, snugging the house back to the west line is to basically oversee the property. And according to Mr. Yankee as well, at that elevation during the fall, you can actually see Cedar Lake from that spot. Rather than bring that all the way down to where the front setback line is, he wants to take advantage of the fact there is 16 feet of relief and be able to look out his front yard down the hill, which is the reason why we're requesting the variance. The second variance has to deal with the garage in the front yard in a corner lot. So if the house faces to the east on 133rd Avenue, it would probably be considered a side yard, but because it's double front, the 33rd Drive could be considered the front yard. Therefore, we have a garage in front of the house, which is why we're seeking the second variance.
Okay.
I'd be happy to entertain any questions at this time.
All right, Mr. Kubiak.
I have nothing. I mean, as you can tell, the house is in a similar location as before. The rear yard is up against the railroad easement and the railroad tracks. The lower the house, I mean, it's got a lot of earth to move in order to move the house forward. As you said, it's best to build there. So,
We took pictures of this.
there's really, I mean, it's not affecting any state whatsoever. I have no issues at all.
Okay. Is there any other board discussion, questions, comments, concerns?
Not this time.
You moved it. This is
Yeah.
obviously different. So
Yeah,
you moved it sideways.
Yeah, I had a discussion with Mr. Yankee this morning, and we were trying to make the impact as least as possible. And where we had it before, I was going to save on some dirt and some other stuff, but we felt that getting the variance, it would be easier to do it this way. And he liked the fact that it faced more east than it did along the contours.
The only issue that we may need to address with that is the address.
Yes, the one that's on there, it was the one that was the house before. So if we want to change it to 133rd Avenue, we can do that at the Plan Commission level when we do the plat for the subdivision.
Any other board discussion?
Not right now.
All right, I'll ask if you can have a seat for a moment, please. Are there any remonstrators for or against this variance?
Did you have a question, sir?
Yeah.
If
Would you step up to the mic?
you come to the podium, please state your name and address, and then you state your concerns.
Mark Boderman, 13305 West 133rd. I just had a question. I know everything's facing east. This is how it would be then.
You're the guy in the north, right?
And,
Your house is right there.
and then the garage is that log.
Yeah, because it's a log cabin home, it has to be a detached garage. They make some different models, but it's already long enough as it is, so that we had to do it detached, which is
So-
almost in the same position where it was.
That would have a log.
Yes.
Logs too.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions or concerns?
No concerns.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other remonstrators for or against this variance in the room? Seeing none, are there any remonstrators outside? Okay, seeing none outside, Ms. Baker, has there any been submitted electronically or online for this?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay, seeing no more remonstrators, the public portion of this item is closed, and you can come back up, sir. Any other building department comments? You like what you see,
Not for me.
Baker? The change that you said, that you commented on earlier, did that improve the setback requests and stuff that he's asking for, or just moved it?
It actually makes it a little bit further away, which is good.
Okay.
But it faces more towards 133rd Avenue, so that's why the address changed.
Okay.
Jeremy, did he just give you new information different than what Tammy gave me?
The only difference, Bob, is that house that's cockeyed a little bit on that plat is now straight going north and south.
Okay, thank you.
Any other board discussion?
So the old residence, what was the rear yard setback on the west side of the house before?
There probably wasn't one, but it was about 20 feet.
Okay. And how about on the south side, do you know?
It's probably split on the lot. The lot's probably 146, so it's probably about 100 feet the way that was.
The old house?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on that page 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also going, I think you mentioned the one lot subdivision, because this goes to the center of the road and it's just a meets and bounds, so.
Okay.
See any other way? Any other board discussion?
No.
No.
This is very comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Planning commission for one lot subdivision.
Yes.
Is that scheduled or advertised for?
Yes, the canceled meeting was the workshop. We were scheduled for that, and I'm on for the 15th. So we'll be back for that.
Any action you may consider should be contingent upon the plat being approved.
Yeah, I don't really have any problems with this. There's definitely no lot coverage issues with which that usually concerns me, but with this one, we definitely have an odd lot. It makes it difficult to build on to meet our ordinance. So, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this developmental variance as presented, to include the findings of that, and contingent on the plat being approved by the planning commission.
I'll second it with the findings of fact.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Recupero, a second by Mr. Wilkening to approve the developmental variance to allow the petitioner to build a new home with a rear yard setback of 20 feet with a dedicated garage in the front yard of a corner lot. Contingent on plat approval from Plan Commission and also to include the findings of fact. You understand the motion, sir?
I do.
Roll call?
Nick Recupero,
Yes.
Jerry Wilson,
Yes.
John Kapoor,
Yes.
Jeff Bungie,
Yes.
Jeremy Kuiper,
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
New business item number 2, Paraday developmental variance. Owner petitioner Ron Paraday, 13900 Huseman Place in Cedar Lake in the vicinity of the same. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to add a sunroom and deck with a front yard setback of 4 foot off of 139th Ave, a rear yard setback of 3 foot, and lot coverage of 42%. Counselor Austin. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ron Paraday, 13900 Huseman Place. The dimensions you just gave are accurate. I think the only additional comment would be that the 3-season room is going to go in the middle of the deck. What I mean by that is the deck is 605 square feet. That will be removed. The sunroom is 240 square feet, so it'll be placed in the middle. It'll be extending from the house. And then the remaining part of the deck will be rebuilt exactly to the parameters it is today.
So new deck in place with the old deck.
Right, but it's going to be smaller because the sunroom is going to take up some of the square footage.
And then you're extending the sunroom, the sunroom, how far in each direction from the deck?
Well, it's not from the deck. The deck is the existing deck is
Right.
being removed.
Okay.
The sunroom is going to be 12 feet by 20.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 feet wide, which is parallel with the house coming out, 12 feet deep. And then where the perimeter of the deck is today, which will be smaller in the future, will go exactly where it was before.
Okay. Mr. Kubiak?
We got some pictures up there. What I think what Ron's trying to say is existing currently, he does have 42.4% lot coverage right now. There's a deck, there's a tall deck and lower deck that are there currently, which will, the sunroom will be incorporated into that same space that he's currently. So he does have that 42% lot coverage. He's got a pretty small lot. Got about 4 permits in the last year, I think, fixing up that house and it's redone. Put it down, the inside, the outside, pretty much everything up to the decks now. So.
Yeah, you and I become very good friends.
It's what it is, but it's again, that's, I guess if you look on the photo, if you got the pictures, you kind of get a feel for what's there, but there is, he's still taking it down and replacing it by a year for variance.
That's it right there, yeah. So you can see the perimeter of the deck. It's not going to go any further than that when we replace and put the new deck on, which will be surrounding the sunroom. And if you can go back to the other picture, where you see the width of the home and you see the sliding glass doors, those doors will remain and the sunroom will just project from there, if that makes sense.
Anything else, Mr. Kubiak?
I don't have anything else.
Ms. Baker?
No, sir.
Any other board discussion, questions, comments, concerns?
I am looking at the survey drawing here that was turned in, and something says is written in 4'4" to the north up to a red line, and I don't know what the red line is because the GIS shows a concrete wall.
It's a retaining wall that was built by Mike Dolder.
Let me finish. What I'm looking at that you turned in I'm confused about what I'm looking at on the GIS because the retaining wall is actually out in the legal roadway. More so on what you turned in as opposed to what's on the GIS that I can see. Plus it says 4'4" here and it says 4 foot. So where
Okay.
where that 21
Seven.
7 is? Yeah.
I think that depends where that measurement was taken, Jerry. It's in the very, I guess, the very east, the northeast corner. It's the closest to that.
Yeah.
Years off, so I don't know.
Well, you know, the last time there was some digging going on over there, there were some surprises because the sewer line moved over in 40 years. So I'm making sure that everything is where it needs to be. So what are your what are your thoughts? I mean, how far is he going to be from the retaining wall?
The footprint of what he's doing is exactly the same as it currently is.
Okay, all right.
So I did not measure it, but that 4 foot is very close by the eye. But it goes from, as you go west, it gets a little bit further away. But
Okay.
So
I just thought since that whole project was newer, that you would have a super accurate drawing of some kind from
This is,
the
pretty much
developer,
like-
the
yeah.
developer before you.
Yeah, that's what I got at closing.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
should be as new as,
I got
at
you.
least what I thought I had.
I got you. I have nothing else right now, Mr.
So the
President.
sunroom and the deck will be no bigger than what is there now.
That's correct.
Be the exact same size, exact same coverage, except it'll be a sunroom with a
Smaller
smaller
deck
deck
surrounding it.
around it.
But as far as the numbers go, the 4 foot that you're requesting, that's going to be in the narrowest setback,
Is that your
Yes,
point,
which is the
Tim?
way it exists
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
which will be the narrowest part. And like Tim said, it gets wider as you go west, right?
But at that very northeast corner there, it's probably that 4'4". I mean, I would say that's 4 foot. So that's why we requested the 4. It's just, I mean, it's essentially the parameters of what you're looking at on that picture.
Okay.
And that 3.5 feet or 3 foot, 5 inches, or not, it's not 3.5 feet, it's 3.3 feet, 5 inches. That's to the wall, or that's the, is there a public?
To the lake, Jeff.
Yeah, but is there a dedicated walkway in there? Is that the one that
It was vacated
it was
a
vacated?
long time ago.
Because I think we had an issue with that.
Yeah. Can I add a comment?
Sure, please.
That 3 feet from the end of the deck, it actually is it's a garden. That 3 feet is my property. And then you've got another 10 to 12 feet from there to the retaining wall. That actually belongs to Mike Dolder because he owns the retaining wall and he owns that property that butts up against the retaining wall, if that makes sense.
Okay. But that walkway that was in question with the last time we looked at this property has been vacated.
Yeah, here it is.
Is that correct? Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Walkway was vacated with the,
Yeah.
Walkway is to the east of this property.
Right, can you see it? The rest of it right there?
the walkway was vacated when this was all done, I thought.
The walkway was to the east of this property.
Right.
The
The
north.
GIS shows
It
that
looks like it's
big
the north.
space between the wall and the.
See it? Right there. Where my mouse is?
That's the wall. That's the wall along there.
Yes.
So it
So
went
he's got
all the
a lot
way
of
here,
space here.
and that's what he was talking
It's the same
about.
footprint.
But this is all part of his property.
Well, right.
But even that corner, that little close corner is because how he chopped off that corner to get
We
there.
gotta say no more than 4 foot.
Any other board discussion?
Or no more.
No, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Ask if you have a seat for a moment, please.
Thank you.
The remonstrators for or against this variance in the room? Any for or against this variance? Outside,
camera.
None outside. Ms. Baker, has there been any submitted electronically via email or online?
No, sir.
None. Okay, we did have one sent. I'd like to make it part of the record. Submitted through the town to Miss Baker, dated Wednesday, July 8th, from a Mr. Michael Dolder of 8421 West 139th Avenue. And his comment is, I urge the Board of Zoning Appeals to approve Mr. Paraday's request. And that was the only one. Seeing or hearing no other remonstrators, public portion for this item is closed. Come back up, sir, please. Anything else from the building department?
No.
No? Any other board discussion?
Nope.
No, sir.
I have nothing.
I have a motion for you.
That's great.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. We approve this developmental variance to allow the petitioner to add a sunroom and deck with a front yard setback of no less than 4 foot off of 139th Avenue, a rear yard setback of no less than 3 feet, and lot coverage of 42%. I don't believe that this variance is going to create any hardships on any of the neighbors, and basically an existing use replacement of the old structure. And I'd like to include the finding of facts with that.
I'll second it with the findings of fact.
Okay, Mr. Perry, did you understand the motion
I do.
and the second? Roll call?
Nick Rosufito,
Yes?
Jerry Wilkman,
Yes.
John Kapoor,
Yes,
Jeff Bungie,
Yes.
Jeremy Kuiper,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who seconded that motion?
I did, Bob.
Mr. Wilkening.
Okay, thank you.
New business item number 3, Crumwade, pardon? Crumwitty, pardon. Developmental variance. Owner petitioner Greg and Donna Crumweedy, 7415 West 129th Avenue, Cedar Lake, in the vicinity of the same. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a 24 by 24 foot detached garage with a 22 foot setback from 129th Avenue. Councilor Austin? Thank you. And a petitioner.
I'm Greg Cromedy. I live at 7415 West 129th Avenue. I'm just here to get a variance to build a garage 22 feet off the street.
Do you have an existing garage?
No, sir. The problem is if I put it any farther back, I'll be too close to the house for the fire code of 12 feet from eave to eave.
Okay. Mr. Kubiak?
We got some pictures of this also. He doesn't have a lot of other options for a garage. The house is placed pretty far back on the lot. The one house has a decent setback directly to the east. The next house has a garage and a house probably within 10 feet of the roadway. Both the garage and the house, and those closed setbacks exist clear up 129th Avenue there from Hilltop all the way up the road. There's quite a few properties that are much closer to the road than the 22 foot that he's asking for. So it's very consistent with the area.
Where would your access to the garage be? Off the existing drive?
It'd be right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Off of
Just pull
129th?
in, go straight in the garage.
Okay.
So on this drawing, you have an addition that's drawn on here. Is this?
Yeah, we put an addition in 7 years ago.
Okay, so that's already there.
That's
Yeah.
part of the reason I have to come so far forward.
Okay. Is there Is there a reason why you can't go attached with it? Or is there a reason why you can't go?
Because of fire code. If I was to go attached, I would cover a window for an exit for a bedroom
Okay.
on either side. So,
Okay. Is that true, Tim?
because my daughter's room's right on the other side of the fence, and then there's the gas meter in that corner.
Yeah, I mean, if there's bedrooms in the basement, he's got to have the escape window.
Okay. I understand.
I thought that's what you were asking.
See if there's the option of attaching it to get the setback
Oh,
farther back, you know.
there any other board discussion?
No, sir.
Right now. No, I don't believe so.
I did that.
If you look at that garage in that house, that's probably
About
6 foot more forward. than you look at the
Oh.
And I mean, if you look down the road, there's a couple more houses. I mean,
And the house on the corner is about 2 feet
right.
from the road. So,
Yeah, if you look at.
I don't really have a yard on the front. It's all on the side because it steps up because it's a hill.
Okay. Any other board discussion?
No, sir.
Not right now. You can have a seat for a moment.
Are these excuse me, I just had one question about from the surveyor's report. These two little outbuildings, are they still?
The one behind the house?
Yes.
No, them are gone. They were like old, thrown together sheds
Okay.
that I tore down. The only thing we have is like a playhouse that was part of a shed that we just resided and made look nice, and the kids play in it.
You took that down when you discovered it, when you did the addition.
Yeah, we had to take it down
remember,
for the
yeah.
addition,
Yeah.
yeah, because it would have been too close. But it was ugly anyway. I didn't mind tearing it down.
Okay,
Oh, I see. It's in there. Yep, I'm good.
you can have a seat for a moment,
Alright.
please. Are there any remonstrators for or against this variance in the room? Any for or against this variance in the room? Outside? None outside. Ms. Baker, has there been any submitted electronically or online for this item?
No.
Any other remonstrators? Seeing or hearing none, public portion of this item is closed. Come on back up, please. Any final words from the building department?
I have none.
Yes, sir.
Board discussion, questions, comments, concerns? Nope.
If it's consistent with the
If there's,
setbacks and up and down the street, I don't have an issue.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that this developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a 24 by 24 detached garage with a 22-foot setback from 129th Avenue be approved with the findings of fact.
I'll second that.
we have a motion by Mr. Wilkening, second by Mr. Cabrera to grant the development variance as requested to allow the petitioner to build a 24 by 24 foot detached garage with 22-foot setback from 129th and to include the findings of fact. Do you understand the motion, sir?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Nick Rakupo,
Yes.
Jerry Wilkning, John Kapoor,
Yes.
Yes.
Jerry Packer,
Yes, motion carries 5. New business item number 4, Arlano developmental variance, owner petitioner Roman, or am I saying that correctly? Arlano 22910 Burnham Avenue in Chicago Heights in the vicinity of 7704 134th Court in Cedar Lake. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a new 2.5-story single-family home on an existing foundation with a height of 32 feet an east side yard setback of 1 foot, a west side yard setback of 6 foot 10 inches, a front setback of 14 feet, lot coverage of 940 square feet, a lot size of 2,625 square feet, and a frontage of 35 feet. Councilor Austin? Thank you. We have a petitioner for this item.
He is online.
Yes, this is Roman Ariano. I am requesting that developmental variance. So we would like to build a house over an existing foundation that's there now. We would be extending the house back 5 additional feet and going up an additional, right now it's at 1 story. We would like to go for 2.5 story.
Was there an existing?
This is it.
That's it?
Yeah, there is an existing house there now, currently.
Mr. Kubiak?
This is pretty old, dilapidated. That's there up on top of the hill. He started out with kind of
He's up on hill. These are the garages down below.
try to fix up the run, fix it up, and that's what he would have to do to. So this is why I see it. But his plan is to, I mean, if you see the pictures, there's some cracked foundation, and he's going to repair all of that, obviously, and then a little bit and put a new home there on top of the hill.
So is the new house using the existing foundation?
We will be repairing that foundation to be able to be structurally sound to hold a 2.5 story house.
Got to do a lot of work to it. I mean, he's done the footing, wall repair.
So it was already an existing 1 foot side yard on the west.
Correct, it's there.
Okay.
There is a retaining wall or something. I walked out there this day. And on the east side of the property, there is a retaining wall that looks like it would be on his neighbor's property. I don't know if you could you take a west or an east elevation picture, Tim?
There is additional pictures that are included in here from that were provided to us, but I don't receive the retaining.
Well, it wasn't very high. It might be inches off the ground. It's in the brook along through that vegetation through there.
I'm not sure.
Because I noticed that's where the gas meter
So just so I'm looking at this correctly, Roman, this is a 35-foot wide lot and it's 75 feet.
That is correct, yes.
And the north side of this property is going down the hill.
That is correct, yes.
So you mentioned, I think you mentioned in your proposal here that you were pushing the house back. Is that what you?
Correct, an additional 5 feet. I believe there used to be a porch in the back or a deck. So we would be actually building up an additional 5 feet towards the back.
Which would be towards the north?
It would be towards the north, correct.
And adding the deck.
Okay.
Roman, do you own any of these other lots around you?
I do not know. But to the west of us, there are like 2 or 3 empty lots. And to the east of us, there's a house maybe, I would say, about 80 feet from my property. So there's like an empty, the equivalent of like 1 or 1.5 empty lots east of me.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. The lots to the west of you, 114 and 112, I noticed on the GIS when this picture was taken, it looks like it's a parking area. Does the owner park there? Because parking up in that area is challenging at least.
No, our neighbor that neighbor is lucky enough to have like a 2-car garage, an additional space, uh, east east of his house, and and about a 3 or 4 space, uh, parking area next to our property. So there's more than enough parking there.
Maybe I misspoke. I meant to the west. There's a couple
To the
lots.
west. Gotcha. Okay, to the west, it's just like vacant. They look like vacant or abandoned lots. Like the equivalent of like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
I got that, but
Is this your vehicle that's parked in front of it now?
No.
That was at 9 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, but there is parking there. There are some parking spaces there west of us.
For you to
On
use?
your property?
Not on my on our property. There'll probably be the equivalent of like 1 parking space.
that's the part, Roman, that I'm having a problem with.
Okay.
I just this is a lot of stuff on one lot, and I know there's already a house there, but you're adding cars in a way, and just got to wrap my head around it, I guess.
Right. I would like to put like a parking space right next to it, which should definitely fit. Based on the way I looked at, I could easily park 2 cars there on the property, 1 to the west and 1 in front of the house. Which I've seen other properties in the area do that.
Yeah, I got you.
But we'll make it work. We're gonna make it look nice. So it'll look good if you approve it, of course.
I have no other questions right now, Mr. President.
Sure, not right now.
Nor
Mr. Bungie?
I guess not at the moment.
Okay, are there any demonstrators for or against this item? In the room, please come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Lauren Espinoza. I live at 13433 Lee Street, and I actually own the lot that's next to this property. And that car that you see in the picture is my brother's car, and we use it as parking space.
Hold on. You said next to you. You mean east or west?
I live in the corner of Lee Street, and I face that property lot.
You're across the street.
Right. So
Okay.
I'm on the corner. And I actually own lot 109, lot 108. And the car that you see in the picture is my brother's car.
Actually, the cars I see in the picture are 2 lots to the west. When
No,
this picture was taken. This is a GIS picture, satellite.
Oh,
That's why I was asking.
the picture right here.
Morning.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's right
Okay.
there. That's
All right.
what he's talking about as parking space. That's actually what I use as a parking space. So
Okay.
You have a lot of room over there, and you.
well, I have spots on my side, and then I have a detached 2-car garage, but there's a tree in front of it, and there's a utility pole. So I can't really park. I can only park 1 car really, so I can't park my car inside the garage.
Right.
So I actually, my brother parks over there because he's got a big vehicle. So like where we park, there's no space for him to park. So that's where he parks. So
But you understand the parking issues that
yeah,
are up on it, though.
right.
Yeah.
So my concerns with him trying to build on this property is like I had that lot surveyed, but I haven't. There's marks in the dirt in the street where the lot was surveyed, and it's really close to where his property is.
Mhm.
So I don't really see how he's going to have space on that property if he builds a 2.5-story house.
So your property's long.
Yeah.
You're actually in the pavement or something. I think.
Yeah. So if you actually, I mean, I submitted pictures of, you know,
We have it.
Mhm.
right. So there's a the bolt that marks where my property starts. I don't know if you can see it in those pictures. I submitted a picture where I tried to take so you could see it, but it might be hard to see.
With one of the pictures you gave me.
Yeah, it's the bolt in the street, which I tried to get a picture of that.
I could see
And
it.
I might have pictures on my phone.
Is it, ma'am?
Oh, I
This
see
one?
it.
It has a pink circle around it. So it's really close. And honestly, like right now, for him to park on that spot, he doesn't have my lot to back in.
Okay, so with that said, this lot is not 75 feet deep because part of it's already in the street, correct? What did you have there? I can't get the paperwork in here.
That's where she's referring to the property.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah, but that survey where the house was at,
The-
the property is.
This is, if that is true, and that is really a marker that was done by a surveyor, that's the beginning of the property, meaning part of the pavement is on the property. Yes.
Yeah. So
The lot is still 75, but it starts at that marker, not at the edge of the pavement.
Yes, it
does show the properties out in.
Yeah, that's what John just pulled up here. So it's not 75 feet. It's actually, I don't know. It's hard to say. 1 inch is 10 foot. So
The property is still 75, but the setback from the road is less than.
the usable space is 75. Not even close. Yeah.
well, and I also am just concerned too. Like I don't know how he's gonna build like, on my lot, and I know those lots are vacant, but they're still owned by people. So I'm just, that's just a concern I have.
Is that it?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a concern for me because I would.
You're gonna have to wait until we're done making comments.
Sure.
Are there any other remonstrators for in the room? Outside. Hey, this is the age we live in right now. None outside. Ms. Bake, has there been any submitted electronically or online
Just the one that's within our packet.
from Mrs. Espinoza? That was you. Okay. Are there any other remonstrators? All right, seeing none, the public portion of this item is closed. And Mr. Arano, you can go ahead and.
Sure. What I was commenting is that in regards to parking, there are two mid-size or more than smaller pine trees in front of the house that I am planning to remove. Have my landscapers remove it and put some nice pavers, and we will be able to park there. So that shouldn't be an issue. We already took measurements. I had my landscaper go out there, and that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Go ahead. Building department. You got the floor.
That's if you look at the survey, it's 14 feet to the property line. I just want to make sure that you are aware of that well there also.
Yeah, we've took that into consideration, and that's still not an issue. I mean, there's more than enough space there.
I guess my only comments are, the house is existing there. I mean, he started out gonna just repair the foundation and try to rebuild the house. But I know it's that stuff where that's side. I truly feel that he's got two parking spots in front of the house with that 35 feet by 14. One car can pull in and one car can parallel park. But this time,
Is he?
Really not a lot of space at all.
but when you go around the curve up there, I mean, that whole area up there is pretty rough. I mean, Nick's got a couple of houses there.
That's why I'm so concerned about this, because on paper it doesn't look so bad, but in reality, once you get around and parking, Dave and Lauren, I mean,
There's a gap in the foundation like this.
that's a whole nother issue. But
Yeah.
as far as the parking goes, I mean, you guys have bought extra lots for parking. We have, all of our neighbors have, because it's a necessity. So, it's one thing to have a one-story house here and inhabiting that, to have over double the size of the space, and then I believe it would require even more parking. I don't even think the parking's sufficient for this place as it is.
Since we have a first responder in the room, is that area for emergencies challenging as far as public safety goes?
Very, very much so. And anything back in whether 2-story, 1-story, or anything, just because of the parking, and just the roads and.
Tim, this doesn't need a variance because it's a remodel, a garage. Is that why there's no garage in this place? It's existing. Okay, all right. Okay.
It looks like that road's only 10 feet wide.
It's tight.
Oh, for sure.
You definitely couldn't have 20 people over.
If you ride through there on a motorcycle, it doesn't seem so bad.
So if he tore the house down and use that foundation and just rebuild a 1-story house, he wouldn't have to.
We can remodel that place on that. I mean, you can repair and remodel that house just right where it is.
Without tearing it down.
Correct.
Because he's tearing it down.
He's trying to, I mean, what's there, it's gonna take a lot to repair. Trying to be straight up with, I mean, you could say you're repairing it, replace 90% of the lumber and repair it.
I understand. I understand that for everybody.
Yes, you could repair existing remodel it.
He's sure because he's wants to tear the house down and rebuild on that.
Just want to replace, yeah, because he was gonna try to reinforce the floor.
And add to it.
And adding 5 feet in the rear. So, yeah, to clarify he could repair that house existing in place and not be a problem.
Other than the height. What's the height? Should be 30 foot, right?
Yeah.
And this is 32, so they're because of 2
Correct.
foot also.
Correct.
It's a lot of stuff on one little piece of property.
Yeah, there's, all those variants.
Yeah, it's a very small footprint, but it's tall. I mean, just like a lot of those are. There's lots of 35-foot lots of commonality down that portion. So there's not a lot of space. And I don't know how many extra lots are left for parking. That's a luxury to have.
The thing is, John, is I mean, you obviously know the history of Cedar Point Park and cottage homes and stuff like that. And I feel like when we do stuff like this, where it's not planned like that, the roads aren't designed for something like that. Put a bigger house like this on a small lot. There are a couple 135-foot lots in Cedar Point Park, and if we do this one,
This would be another 100-year mistake, in my opinion.
Sounds like they're all trying to convince me.
No, I'm just
discussion. No, I want to hear it.
You're a good adversary. That's why I like you here.
I just trying to get it straight as exactly what he wants to do and why he's here. Now the problems I see, number one, is parking, because there's no garage. It's just going to be outside parking. And a 2-story house. How many people are going to live in this house?
My wife and I. This property will be our weekend property to get away from the stress. That's basically what we want it for. Right now, we currently park 2 cars there on our property. So we plan to go, I mean, when we need to, but they would be parking 1 or 2 cars maximum. And it's just for my wife and I.
But what about the next owner? If you ever sell this, now we created an issue.
Yeah.
I don't plan to sell it, to be honest with you. I would like to maybe one day retire there with my wife.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
on your mistake item for, given the continuing proliferation of development, in my park subdivision and community, and all you have to do is drive by it in a boat or drive down the main street or take a ride, see there's a lot, not a lot of room for it. You may well want to give some thought to this and maybe defer, go look at it yourself, drive through it again. Public hearing and the information from the
Mr. President, as the existing non-conforming things that come in front of us, there was always a give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this, maybe we're going up. This is just more of the same space. There's really no room to move anything. I looked at this earlier and I thought, well, maybe there was a garage underneath on the first level, maybe. But there's not even going to be a garage. And the way the elevation changes there,
And
I'm
at that point,
I'm not comfortable with making a decision about this today.
at the point of him doing the amount of overhaul, does it even make sense to keep the foundation where it's at and then move it more towards the middle of the lot? And with the garage?
Well, Tim said he's got a lot to do. When Tim said there's a lot to do, there must be a lot to do.
It's a small, I mean, if you look at it, it's a small, I mean, I know it, that I guess the vertical two-story makes it larger, but it's a very small footprint. It's not that big. It's 20 by 30, I mean, so. So you do the math on that, you got 600 square feet, so 1,200 square feet isn't that big of a property there. It's just a normal, I mean, you're not gonna have 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Fairly small. It looks, I mean, look at the size of the floor plan there. I mean, it's not giant. It's not like a vacation home for 30 people. But, and again, you guys are right with it. What's there? I mean, when you guys want to do something on your piece of property over there, across the street, it's not just.
I'll tell you what happens on our place then, Dewey. The woman to the north, she owns 2 35-foot lots. Been fixing up the place. And I've on 2 occasions so far this year had to do contractors off our property, our vacant lot, and they couldn't even manage to do work on 2 lots. So I don't know how this is going to work.
Tim, maybe I need a history refresher. When's the last time you did anything? When's the last time somebody came to us with a 35-foot lot and wanted to do this to this commission? I don't remember one.
The one down the hill from Collins's place that we did right on North Lakeshore Drive.
Monteleone?
Was that the name on it?
Yeah.
Wow, good memory.
Well,
He's young.
there's a reason.
Okay.
But I think we granted that because you're building. We're planning on building a good portion of that. Weren't they?
Well, yes, but they also narrowed the 2 house. They created more space on the side. I don't know if it was 2 foot or 4 foot or whatever it was. They made it a little skinnier, yeah, to keep it away from the neighbors.
I mean, this is a prime example of why we have these big lots. It's either you leave that you have to pay the thing or an empty lot or.
They didn't know that somebody owned that lot. So I just feel like we have to choose this again. They're either putting something on my lot or parking on my lot. Really showing. I really don't want to do.
That was noted. Mr. Kubiak or building department, do you have anything else to add, subtract?
That the, I think what was said earlier is where we can look at the situation. It's not a bad idea. Because it is, I mean, there's not a lot of room up there for sure. But what's there also is a pretty good eyesore. So the people that have been, I mean, Nick fixed up a house there. There's a couple more that are rough, but then ones that are being fixed up are making it better. But Your Point Park there's not room to spread each full hands down the road.
It's cozy.
It is cozy. Trying to get trucks.
If it is going that direction for a little bit more time to review, do we want to give the petitioner any direction, any changes, or?
Try to buy another lot next to it.
Jesus.
That's my suggestion. I mean, I've already seen it also. You guys might need to go out and look at it. I already seen everything.
And your opinion is just too much?
Yeah, it's just too much for the area. I mean, up and down that street, even folks here, everybody has multiple lots because it's necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't even have half the house of what he's proposing building. So I don't think it's a good fit at all.
Is
And
a
I think it's
single,
going to create hardships on the neighbors around there.
is a single story going to do this?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Because of what?
You have over half or less than half the living space, so realistically, you can't fit as many people, have as many people over in a single story. I'd rather, just like Jerry said, if it's a 100-year mistake, we got one chance to do it right. Whatever decision we make on this, especially if we allow this, well, it'll be there throughout all of our life. We'll have to live with it. That's all.
In theory, there's more lots there. Thing to be done with. Theory.
Well, the current ordinance, you have to have 5,000 square feet of property to build on, so the only reason that he's just house is currently there. So the 35-foot lot next door, plus they can acquire one space. So,
I'm just saying, they can come here for a variance. I think just the sake, and I'm not advocating in any way, shape, or form for first responders. However, you said it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
There's a safety issue up there with being in a hurry.
is there any way that you can move that house back up and put it up there 10 feet and scoot it over a little bit? I mean, I know you're trying to utilize some of that foundation, but that's an option.
Roman, can you hear?
Sure. I mean, we could get creative. You let me know what we need to do. We'll make it happen. I'm a doer. I'm a builder. So let me know what it is that you want. We'll get it done. Just simple as that. Right now, the house is really tiny. It's an abandoned house. Building a nicer, bigger house will, of course, help all of our neighbors because it will increase the value of their property, of everybody's property. So you let me know what you want us to do. We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir.
From doing the right things to designing this project. You have a petition before you. If you want to withdraw, go re-examine this, they certainly can do that. That's not your role to redesign this project.
Roman, I think we'd really like you to do something there. I'm just not sure this plan is good the way it's written right now.
Okay. What do you propose? What do you suggest?
Well, we don't do designing, Roman. Tim's of course certainly an idea man.
Okay.
But right now, what's in front of us is not looking super appealing. So as Mr. Austin said, if you wanted to withdraw perhaps and start over, wanted a deferral to bring something else back here, maybe that might work out a little better. That may be an avenue.
Okay.
The biggest drawback's the parking in a 35-foot lot, and I'd really have to see spectacular to wrap my arms around. That's just my opinion.
Sure, yeah, we'll get a deferral.
So you're requesting a deferral?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. The petitioner's requested a referral. Roll call that, or?
Yeah, we can do a motion.
Does anybody want to entertain a motion for that?
Well, defer till next month, or how much time does he want? I want to go more than 2 months.
I'll make a deferral for a month.
I think we,
The findings of fact.
that's your motion?
Yep, my motion.
August 13th.
So,
August 13th.
so I know figure out how to solve those problems.
He knows space is the problem, so parking is a huge problem.
The biggest issue.
Parking is the biggest issue.
I mean, and if we have an opportunity to improve on some side yard setbacks and whatever, being that the condition of the house is such that it's really nothing's much usable on it, I would like to see us improve on some side yard.
Any super creative thing.
Now, I have a question. So if we were to, let's say, set back a bit more?
Sure. I'm gonna have to pause you for a minute. We do have a motion on the floor.
Sure.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Wilkening and a second by Mr. Capura to grant your requested variance for 1 month to the.
No. You didn't grant that, right?
Did I say grant? I'm sorry. Grant his request for deferral.
His request for
Sorry about
I'm going to start over. We have a motion by Mr. Wilkening, a second by Mr. Capura to grant the deferral request until the August 13 regular BZA meeting. Do you understand the motion, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Stupido?
Yes.
Jerry Wilkie?
Yes.
Yes.
Ted Bungie?
Yes.
Randy Piper?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. You're gonna be deferred to the August 13 regular BZA meeting, and you'll be on the agenda towards the beginning for old business.
Okay, great.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, going back. Old business. Item number 1, which was requested to be moved to the back of the agenda. You guys are welcome to stay if you would like.
It never works.
That trick never worked.
Price Point Builders Developmental Variance, old business item number 1, owner Ruben Fairfin, 8918 West 103rd Street in St. John. Petitioner Price Point Builder LLC, PO Box 1343 in Crown Point. This developmental variance is to allow the petitioner to build a new home in a front yard setback of 20 feet and a rear yard setback of 9 foot 67 inches. Deferred from June 11 and requested to be at the end of the agenda. And Counselor, we're still good? Thank you. And we have our petitioner.
Hi.
Hi.
Apologize for my tardiness. Took me a little longer to get in on my car than I thought it would.
Glad you made it.
Thank you. Yeah, we reduced the footprint from front to back. So now we're looking for a variance of 4 foot from a 30-foot setback to a 26 in the front. And the backyard does meet the 25%. at 95 feet. It's 23.96, close to that. And so going further back then is just a variance for the deck, for a 12 by 45 foot deck off the back.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen any of this yet. So the front is 26 feet and the rear with the deck is what?
The rear without the deck is 24 foot, which meets the 25% setback.
What is it with it?
The deck is 12 foot out.
Does it meet the rear setback?
No, so we're going for a variance for the deck and a reduction in the front to 30
Michelle,
foot
you had none of this before, right?
26 foot.
Okay.
When it gets to my turn.
Right now it's new. Yeah, this is the first time anybody.
Anything else, sir?
The houses to the east, according to GIS, are between 25 and 30 foot setbacks. So it pretty much matches the other part of the subdivision. Our other concern at the time was the water runoff. And we put elevations on here. And from the street to the back of the lot is about 6 foot with the 12-foot setback on the left side. That would allow us to put a berm in there so that none of the water would affect the neighbor to the south.
Okay. Mr. Kubiak. Ms. Baker.
This is the first time that I've seen this plan. This was the plan that was presented the first time. And with those lots split like they were before, lot coverage was definitely 25%. And
Yes.
that's why that line was taken out the first time. So with that being back, I would imagine that you're over on lot.
We don't any more of these lots. Is that what you're referring to?
Right, but by cutting that off on 14, by leaving that, you only have 3 lots there, right?
4.
Four.
Should we make the house bigger? Well, this
Can I see
I
that?
guess,
Oh, sure.
Mr. President, this is the first time anybody's seen any of this. Tim and Michelle have not had a chance to look any of this over.
I believe you're still over 25% lot coverage. It was 12.5 before, right?
On
Feet from
the
side yard?
sides. Yes, but we added one more lot to it.
another 25.
Yes.
You'll have to check that and see.
Okay.
I'm good for that. I don't know.
Tim, did you get together with these gentlemen over the course of the past month? Or anybody?
No. I didn't realize that we were supposed to do that. I thought when we talked that I was going to bring in a revised print.
No, we told you guys at the last meeting, it was in the minutes that you were supposed to get together with the building department. In the meantime,
This document here is from today. Is that correct?
It's been revised about 6 times to try and get it to fit. Yes.
May 14th to July.
Yeah, we've been working on quite a bit.
I think in all fairness, Tim and Michelle need to be able to spend some time and look this over. And I don't want to shove you off another month, but I mean, this right now today is not fair. You know, we usually have developers and builders, the engineer comments are supposed to be in here 4 or 5 days before a meeting.
Okay. I apologize. I thought this was for a variance, not for the construction of the blueprints. So why did we need engineers?
I'm just telling you that these documents showing up at the 11th hour is not usually the way we do things. That's why Michelle's trying to do
This is why we have our order, because our building department was able to review and give recommendations to the board on what they see, and that's what Mr. Wilken was getting at. They have, to Ms. Baker's point, we don't know, haven't done calculations on your lot coverage percentage.
Which, I mean, if there was an issue of the 25% coverage, we could just add lot 12 to it.
I just did the 32 by 82 and I didn't do the bump out for the porch or the extension for the garage or either one of the decks and you're already over.
It's already over. Okay. So if
I
we
mean,
added
you're over
lot
quite a
12
bit.
or 11 and 12 even to it, would that?
I mean,
We have to go with something that's here on paper right now. I don't know that we can just legally just say, okay, add 11 and 12 and we're good. I'm not sure we can do that.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to shove you off
Yeah, but
every
I
month.
think we need to know what exactly you guys need, so we don't, I mean, this is the second,
I guess
this is the second month.
Well, that's why you were supposed to go and talk with the
Oh,
building
that's
department.
That's on me. Okay.
If you want to read our minutes, it is in our minutes and recorded that was a recommendation from this board to do. I understand the frustration, but also we need the information in front of us to make informed decisions.
Are we on the right track though? Can you give me that? I mean, is this?
well, that's why we needed you guys to figure out a better plan and divide this up. That was the whole reason we talked about it. And then you were thinking about adding the other one. Then you were you make that plan and then bring it back and let us look at it. I don't know how big the garage is. I know that you're over right now. We could have discussed that and then, made it so that it was acceptable. I don't even know the size of the garage. I don't know if you're over the 864. I'm just trying to make sure that all of your variances are included so that you don't have to do this process again. But
And if you need to add 11 and 12 to get in the coverage window, whatever it works out to, that's what.
If we did that, may I ask this? If we did that, would it be possible, in your opinion, to get the variance for the back deck and the 4-foot reduction in the front? If we met all the criteria that you're talking about?
That's kind of speculatory.
Anything's
I mean, I appreciate you making all these changes because this is much better.
Much better, absolutely.
Much better.
It's also inaccuracy. The site plan describing the entirety of the parcel, lots 5 through 16 or 17 feet of lot 7. We need to see the legal description from the surveyor of the subject parcel.
right, remember you guys were gonna go up to county
That
and
didn't happen. This document.
So you're saying we need a legal description of the property?
He's described legal description for lots 5 through 17 and the north 17 lot 17. Well, the entire property, the red line shouldn't.
Yeah.
which is,
Right.
you guys were gonna go to county and see about the addresses and the parcel numbers, remember, and then split them up so that you could decide. We talked about all that.
Yeah, but we were gonna not do it.
Well, then why do you have a line with this one?
Yeah, she's absolutely right, because we talked about doing that if you want to do this, but we agreed to not build any more on there. And so that's why I thought, and he did put this line in here. You guys are absolutely right.
Do you have a plan for this house that you're showing us?
I have preliminary blueprints. I'm getting them finished drawing now, but I didn't want to go too far if I had to make other changes.
I would really encourage you guys to get with the building department because they'll point you down the right road.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I know we talked about it last month, but we were considering restrictive covenants on this property too.
That's what he vaguely touched on that a minute ago.
You're still, no, we don't have, but you understand that, you understand that might be a requirement of this board?
For covenants?
Restrictive covenants, to where you
Oh,
couldn't,
build anymore. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call Michelle
so-
again next.
So I need to at least get through the remonstrators and we could talk again. Okay. So I'll ask you to have a seat for a brief moment. Are there any remonstrators for or against this variance in the room? Any for or against this variance? Outside? None outside. Ms. Baker, has there any been submitted electronically or online for this item?
No, sir.
Any other remonstrators for or against this variance? Seeing none, the public portion of this item is closed. All right, you guys can come back up. Thank you. I interrupted you. You go ahead. You were going to probably ask for a deferral.
Yes. Yes.
Before that, any other comments from the building department?
Well, we just need to see a plan and get something. We're asking for still meets with-
So you want to see a full set of blueprints?
Well, not necessarily a full set, but, just a.
Conceptual?
plan or something.
Conceptual. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
It doesn't have to be a full-
Okay.
But just so we know garage size, house size, and obviously which part of the property that you're intending on using, and we need to make sure that
Because
what you can advertise for first is still going to fit in those parameters, what you're asking for.
Sure.
Okay. Does that make sense? Because what you advertise for your variance, whatever you're presenting needs to at least meet or be better than that. You can't be asking. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you the restrictive covenants? Is that something that I should write up prior to meeting with you guys next week
So that it's next month.
or next month? I'm sorry.
Get that to me as soon as possible so that David can review it.
Okay.
It'll need to be a legal document that's recorded at county so that it goes with these lots in the future if they are ever sold and that's presented.
So we have to have it recorded?
Right.
Okay. So again, I need this recorded before the next meeting? No.
Get it to her, Joe will take and distribute it, be reviewed, any comments will be provided. So the thing is, kind of legal form, subject to your decisions up here as to content. And then we have a format of those.
The sooner you get all of the information to me, the sooner I can distribute it, review it, and see if there's anything that needs to be changed, updated. It's different, you need to move something. I mean, like, that's the purpose, so that we can review it before it comes to this, so that, it doesn't have to be deferred.
My apologies.
No,
missed that part.
you're demonstrating you're willing to work, and I know it unfortunately didn't work out for this iteration of it, but
I definitely communicate.
any other board comments, questions, concerns?
No, I mean, what we've been presented is certainly much better than what was here before.
I agree.
So.
Mr. Bungie, you're gonna.
Nope, I have no issue.
Okay, we have a request from the petitioner for deferral till next month.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I'll make the motion, we defer this item till next month.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Capura, second by Mr. Bungie to grant the deferral request from the petitioner. Roll call?
Nick Recupero,
Yes.
Jerry Wilkie,
Yes.
John Capura,
Yes.
Jeff Bungie,
Yes.
Jeremy Piper.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. You guys are deferred. We'll see you next month. Good luck. Okay, is there any public comments? Chance to shine. Any public comment? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
Do we have our comments afterwards? Or?
There's nothing listed.
I was just curious if we had any. That was
Oh.
About at the end of last.
Bring that up.
Do you want this under public comment?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm wondering if you had any communication.
I'll ask the building department. Have you guys had any recent contact with Rosati?
They would like to.
Are we done with it?
You're good with it?
Yeah, they provided an agreement to park at the State Farm parking lot for their employees on the weekends when their busy times are. So they have their spots.
So they have the required spots that were originally
In a different location than the previous.
Yeah, but my question is that they're gonna walk the 3/4 of a mile.
I'll tell you what, I went by there Saturday and all the employees and everybody was parked at the State Farm parking lot.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I did verify and look at it. I mean, they were all, I mean, that lot was full. So I don't know if they're driving them down or what.
Yeah,
they're
they probably
doing.
all come at the same time. Yeah.
Golf cart, there you go.
Yeah.
January 13th, minus 20 out, and they're gonna be hoofing it.
Golf cart. I don't know.
Heated golf cart, enclosed golf cart with windshield and sign.
Doing it in that, as of now, I mean, I guess, even with what's going on currently with all the COVID stuff and everything, there's nothing has been that terribly busy other than.
Every day, somewhere in the world, normal people risk their lives just getting from A
man,
to
I
B.
didn't wanna do
In far-off countries and isolated, forgotten villages, our camera crews follow the journeys of those brave enough to travel on the world's toughest, most dangerous and deadly roads. Buckle up for a hell ride. This is Deadliest Journey.
I guess when the cars aren't there.
Yeah, again, if there's issues brought up by, or whatever the case might be, or there is parking issues, or, you know what I mean, then obviously.
So the best way to submit those kinds of things is through email issues.
Nakai is a small, isolated village in the middle of Laos.
Yeah,
right. Thank you.
When the rainy season ends,
Mr. Carnahan, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Suta.
Can I make a request if you continue to do the online portion? Number one, mute your mic during the national anthem. The delay is very, very distracting. I know you're very patriotic.
Because of the tremendous downpour,
But,
she hasn't been able to get to her
Or
customers
not the
for 3
anthem, the
months.
pledge, excuse me. Could you do that?
I have to learn
phone
how
isn't
to
working,
mute it.
which is
I don't
never
know
a
how
good
to do
sign.
that.
In the
The
other,
journey
know?
will be difficult,
Bob,
but Ken, Suta's
Bob's
husband,
good at
has to
leading,
make his new truck
Oh.
profitable.
he's very, yes.
เงินของข้าพเจ้าเอง
Okay,
ที่
well,
ได้ไปซื้อ
that-
นำ
that's
เอาเงินไปซื้อด้วยอันของข้าพเจ้าเอง
I don't know.
เพราะข้าพเจ้ากับบ่ได้กู้ยืมจากธนาคารและก็บ่มีหมู่คู่มีแต่
Maybe we'll
ครอบ
adjust
ครัว
to that too.
รวมกันแล้วก็ครอบครัว
Yes.
ตกลงไปซื้อ
Yes.
It cost the
Yes,
equivalent of
meaning
nearly
1,900 hours
22,000 euros, a
At
fortune
least
in
for the
Laos.
people up
Is-
here.
Ken and
Is
Suta
when we
can't
would, it was
afford
when
to
we
risk
would like
their
to
families
start
in
all
prison.
future
But
meetings.
the roads are notoriously tough on vehicles.
Well, this is the clock we go by.
Laos is
And this.
landlocked and one of the last Marxist-Leninist regimes on the planet.
Okay, any other
Has
public
long been
comment?
isolated from the rest of the world.
Seeing none, need a motion to
The
adjourn.
recent introduction of limited capitalism has yet to improve the lives of the
Mr.
country's
Capiros, Mr.
6.5
Wilkening,
million
seconded. All those favors, aye?
Three-quarters of the road system in
Aye.
Laos is
Opposed?
simply dirt roads.
Meeting adjourned 2029.
ชีวิตไปเลย